Now that you've seen how to kind of approach building with a shape, again, I have to emphasize each one of yours is going to be slightly different. So I don't want to spend huge amount of time showing you how to perfectly construct one off of this when this isn't what you're working with. But I'm hoping that by seeing this, you'll have at least a jumping off point on how you could get started. All right, so let's start down here. And I want to try to create this one right here. But instead of tracing it, I want to see about using just a font. So what you can do is you can convert fonts into outlines just by typing in the letters that you want to use. So with something like this, I can come in and I can find a font that looks really similar. And what you're going to need to do is you're really going to have to look at the way that the letter is set up. So like this S, this is a very long stylized S. So this one may not match up exactly, but I'm going to briefly show you how you can get it somewhat close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at the different fonts that are here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this because I know it's a sans serif font. And I'm going to go ahead and say it's pretty wide. So it's extended. Actually, no, we'll just do straight sans serif. So now it's filtering them. So now I can start to look at the different fonts that I have installed to start to see if I have something that has the feeling of the one that I already have. So like that's looking close. It's not quite as stretched, but let's try that one. All right, so once you have a font that you think is close, you can do create outlines. And then I'm going to release and ungroup those. So now they're separate. Now with something like this, I want to add on these extra little lines that are here. So in order to get this perfectly straight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to view and go to outline. So it's going to show me just the outline of the path. I'm going to press Command or Control R for ruler. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this ruler down until it touches that anchor point and I let go. Then I'm going to take this ruler to that anchor point. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to do the same thing down here and the same thing down here. Notice when I get to the center point, that little anchor pops up. All right, cool. Now that I have that set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rectangle tool and I'm going to fill it, not with a stroke, but just the fill. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to where that piece is at the apex or the top of that particular arc. So when it says intersect, I'm going to hold my mouse button down and I'm going to drag across. What this does is this is going to add this shape on top of that particular letter. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Just start out here. Doesn't matter exactly where I go. I'm going to drag this until it says intersect. And I'm going to zoom in just to make sure I have it lined up because you don't want to have this going too far out or else it may not end up working correctly. So we'll see if I got close enough. All right. Now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go to view and I'm going to do preview. So now I can see the letters, but now I've got these extra pieces that I don't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to use the shape builder. But now that I have this, I can use the shape builder by clicking on shape builder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my mouse button down inside of this portion of the letter. And I'm going to drag all the way across so I combine that. Then I'm going to come over to here and see it kind of grays out just a little bit. I can hold down my Option or Alt key and it lets me delete it. So I'm highlighting over it, pressing the Option or Alt key, and I delete that. And now I can combine those three pieces. Whoops, I did the wrong one. I just realized I wanted to delete that part. And I want to combine those together. Awesome. So now I can go back in individually on any piece of this and I can grab anchor points and stretch them out. I can bring them in closer. So with something like this, I would be able to do essentially the same thing here with the K. Highlight that. Actually use the direct select, the white. Remember, the white will allow me, if I hold down the shift key, to select multiple anchor points. I'm just using my arrow keys to nudge those together. And if I wanted to combine these together, as long as they were going to be the same color, I could use the shape builder. But for now, I'm not going to worry about that part too much. I'm just going to go ahead and take that and overlap it slightly, just so I can take my shape builder and clip off that little piece. I'm going to leave this its own letter because I might decide later I want to make this a different color. So I don't want to combine it with this shape. But for now, since we're just dealing with black, white, and gray, it's not going to be noticeable. Almost done with this. I'm spending too long explaining how to fix this one perfectly, but I just wanted to show you manipulating those shapes. And then it would be, oh, maybe I can use a rectangle to make that basic shape. And if you remember, we talked about these live corners before. These live corners allow you to hold your mouse button down and it pulls them in. But in this particular outline, see, this side was straight, that side was straight, this side was curved, and that side was curved. I want to show you again how you can manipulate just an individual point. See that little spot there where it's a dark red? Right here. Oh, zoom too far in. Let me zoom out. This lets me manipulate just one curve as opposed to all four of the curves. So like down here, that's curved. If I want to make this one straight, I have to click on it to activate it, making sure that these other ones are not active. And then I can drag that one down. Now, what will happen if you're not paying attention is the other sides will disappear and be kind of weird. So just be careful. Just doing a cheap, fast way to get rid of that little hole. We'll talk about how to do like cleanup and stuff later on, but that would get you closer to what it is that you're looking for. So that's a way to take a font, create outlines, and then manipulate the individual points to start to bring it together.